All right, so here is the review for the Unit 2 and 3 test. A lot of dealing with ratios and percents, so ratio tables and double number lines. You might solve yours differently than I am solving mine, and that is fine. As long as yours is mathematically sound and can get to the same answer, it is not a problem if you solve it differently than what I'm showing you. Just make sure your teacher sees your proof, not just answers, of course. So the first one, the perimeter of a swimming pool is 270 feet. What is the perimeter of the pool in inches? So basically, we're just changing feet to inches. So if I use my label, and I have inches, feet and inches, and then I've got to use my handy dandy little star chart to figure out, or I might know it, but there's, for 1 foot, there are 12 inches. And I'm trying to get to 270 feet. And we're saying how many inches is that going to be? So basically we're saying how did I get from here to here? Well, I multiplied by 270. So I've got to do the same thing there. So essentially I'm taking 270 times 12. And so when I multiply that, okay, and then I always put this so I can tell I scooted over and I can tell the difference between my two of them there. And when I add, I end up with a 0, a 4, 12, so 3,240 inches would be my answer on that. Okay, I'm going to erase so I can see down below here. All right, moving on to number 2. Anna completed 40% of her homework assignment. Her assignment contains 30 math problems. How many problems does Anna still need to complete? So she's done 40. That means she hasn't done 60%. So we can either find 40% and subtract it, or we could just find 60% because she completed 40%. So that means 60% needs to be completed still. So I'm gonna set it up as a double number line. So I've got my math problems or homework, maybe I'll call it homework. And then the other would be my percent. So, whoa, I don't know what just happened there. That was kind of crazy. So we've got 0%, 0 problems. We said 100% is the same thing as 30 problems. Okay? So if I want to get to 60%, I can easily get to 50%. Easily get there because that would be half, and so half of 30 would be 15. But I got to get to 60%. So 60 is 10 more than 50. So if I went down here and found 10% as well, and I can do that either by taking the 15 right here and dividing it by 5, or I can take the 30 and divide it by 10, because either way, that's how I would get either from here to here or here to here. Okay, so either way, doesn't matter. You should get the same answer. 30 divided by 10 is 3. 15 divided by 5 is 3. So 10% is 3. So to get 60%, I want my 60%, and I know that's over a little bit. 15 and 3 would be 18 problems. So that's one way to solve it. She still needs to complete 18 of those problems. Okay. You might have set it up in a chart instead, and that works great too. Okay, so number 3, the percent of Tom's budget he spends on different types of expenses is shown in the circled graph above. Tom's total monthly budget is $2,500. How much does he spend on groceries and rent? So it's combined groceries and rent. So groceries is 25%, rent is 30%. So if I combine those, I'm looking at 30 and 25 combined. That's a total of 55%. So 55% of the budget is spent on groceries and rent. So I can either find them separate, use a double line and find them separate and then add them together, or I could just find 55% of the 2,500. So if I were to do a chart, okay, we know that we're looking for 55%, and 100% is going to be the 2,500. And we learned that we could, if we're looking for this missing one, we learned that we could look at it in a fraction form. Like, I know that to get from here to here, I'm going to be multiplying by 25, because 2,500 is 25 times 100. So that means I would have to multiply here by 25. That would be one way we could solve that. Again, you might have done something totally different, and that's okay. Okay, so if I do this, and I add, and I can't do down there, so I'm going to put it on this side, I end up with $1,375 when I do that. Now, you might have done a double number line. Maybe that's easier, whichever method works best for you. And if you don't understand this method, or you still can't get it with your method, come see your teacher. They will help you with that. Okay. Whoops, I think I jumped too far. So page 2, starting on number 4. In a fish tank, the ratio of angelfish to guppies is 3 to 5. So which ratio is equivalent to this ratio? Equivalent meaning it's equal, it represents the same amount. So if I've got angelfish to guppies is 3 to 5, is there a way to get to 5 to 3? Well, no, because that would just be switching them around, and we can't do that. So we're going to ignore that. 15 to 20. So I could get to 15 by multiplying by 5, but if I multiply here by 5, whoops, not writing real well, I end up with 25 here. That's not 20. So that one doesn't work. Okay, so if I look here, what about 30 and 50? Well, 30 and 50, I can get to 30 by multiplying by 10, right? Because that would be just multiplying by 10. I can get to 50 also by multiplying by 10. So yes, this one would be. Now 2 to 4, the only way we could get to 2 to 4 would be to subtract 1 on each, and that's not going to happen. So my answer there is going to be C. All right, number 5. Susan and Karen each added the same amount of sugar to a pitcher of water to make lemonade. Susan mixed 3 cups of lemonade to each cup or each scoop of sugar for her lemonade. Karen mixed 5 cups of lemonade to every 2 cups of sugar for her lemonade. Which of these statements is true? So we're either looking for Susan's lemonade is weaker than Karen's because of something, because that's what happens for A and B, or Karen's lemonade is weaker than Susan's because of something, and that's for C and D. So first we can decide that, and then we can look at our reasons to determine which one is it going to be. So I'm going to make 2 different charts. I've got Susan over here, and we've got lemonade to sugar. So this is Susan. And what did she add? She added 3 cups of lemonade to every 1 scoop of sugar. Okay. On this other side over here, because I don't have a lot of room, we're talking about Karen. We're going to do the same thing. We have lemonade and sugar. So lemonade, she said there was 5 cups of lemonade for 2 scoops of sugar. Well, 5 and 2 is different than the 3 to 1. For Susan's, we have it down per 1. We have a unit rate of 3 cups per 1 scoop of sugar. Well, this one's per 2. So if I make it per 1, I would divide it in half, right? I would divide by 2 here, take half of it, and so I would do the same thing here, and I would get 2.5. So it's 2.5 to 1. Well, Karen is not adding as much lemonade to hers. So it's going to taste weaker because it's not as lemony, because there's not as much lemonade here compared to the 3 on this side. So we've got to look at C and D to determine which one is our correct answer. So Karen's lemonade is weaker than Susan's because 5 cups is greater than 3 cups. Well, it's not because 5 is greater than 3, because that's just saying, okay, yeah, 2 numbers, one is greater than the other. But if we look at D, it says it's weaker because 3 to 1 is greater than 5 to 2. Well, it doesn't look like it is, but when we found this right here, that 5 to 2 is the same thing as 2.5 to 1, we could really say here 3 to 1 is greater than 2.5 to 1. And it is. So that would mean D is our answer for that one. All right. So now we're going back in time and remembering, all right, how do I find the area of a triangle? This is where your handy dandy little star chart comes in, and we can look for the formula on the side, and it says area and things like that. We find that triangle, and it's going to say A equals 1/2 BH. So half base times height. Well, my base in this case is the 4. My height, because it goes straight, it's perpendicular, right? My height is going to be 5. So if I take 1/2 of 4 times 5. So I can either multiply those two first and get 20, and half of 20 is going to end up being 10, and we'll use our label of centimeters squared. All right. I could have also taken half of 4 first, gotten 2, and 2 times 5 would also have given me 10. So either way. All right. Ben played baseball. In 2 games, he hit the ball 4 of the times he was at bat. So in 2 games, 4 times at bat. Okay, he hit the ball 4 times. Based on this information, how many times will Ben hit the ball the next 6 games? So we've got games and hits. That's what we're looking at. That's what we're comparing. So I've got games and hits, and so I'm going to create a table. I like the table. You might like a double number line. That's fine. They tell us that for 2 games there were 4 hits. Okay, and so based on this information, how many times will they hit it? So we don't know this one right here in the next 6 games. Well, there's a couple of different ways we could look at this. We could look here. 2 times 3 gives me 6. So 4 times 3 gives me 12. That is one way. Another way that we could look at it is, what if we went across here? How could I get from 2 to 4? Well, I could multiply by 2. So what would I do here? I would multiply by 2, and 6 times 2 does give me 12. So either way that you do that, you end up with 12 hits. Okay, so this is page 1 and 2 of your review. This is part 1, and so part 2 is coming up next.